It's like, whoa, wait a second, okay. Because I have a friend, you know, I'll tell you a little story. This guy, he emailed me one time, and generally, how many people here have emailed me? You know, many times I don't get back to those emails because I'm a little overwhelmed with what's going on with what I'm doing. And this is the way that I contribute, by the way, is this way. It's to meet all of you instead of, you know, sitting there behind a computer. This is more fun. So the guy emails me, and I got through, and I was like, this is interesting. I'm going to email this guy back. So we became friends. Turns out he was a real, like, hardcore biblical kind of scholar guy. I mean, hardcore, like, learned ancient Greek, ancient Aramaic, ancient Hebrew, and went back into the original text and all that. And he was in Bible school, and this was in Pensacola, Florida. There's a marshland that runs down from Georgia all the way through the Panhandle, all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So one morning, him and his friend are going on a camping trip. It's like a Friday. Early in the morning, they get up. It's about 4 a.m., and they're driving along in that marshland to this campground that they're going to go to. And his friend said, hey, you know, you should turn off the radio. So he turns off the radio and says, maybe you should turn your brights on because there's nobody on the road. As soon as he hits the brights, there's something in the road. He swerves the car, and they clip this thing right on the hip. Female, hairy, covered with hair. They clip this thing right on the hip with the passenger door handle. The thing spins around, jumps off 1 foot 20 feet, and lands and runs. They couldn't even believe, like 30 miles an hour. Like, it was so fast they couldn't even. It was hard for them to even perceive it. What's that? A female being, humanoid, hairy, like a Bigfoot type of thing. Now, when I said that, how many people immediately doubted it? Thank you for being honest. You see, here's the deal. In the age of all information, where all knowledge is available to us, there's only one barrier that's left. It's not out there. Guess where the barrier is? To allow it in. Because, you know, do I buy into that story? No. Do I deny that story? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I'll accept that and look at that as real because it changed his life. It so changed his life that he dropped out because he saw what was that? I didn't read about that in the Bible. And so immediately he got out of Bible school and he became a cryptozoologist, like the people who study Loch Ness Monster and that kind of thing. And then eventually in his research he got into studying primate diets and what these things eat. And eventually that's how he got into the raw food thing, and that's how we got connected. Isn't that interesting? Yeah, so that's one of the more bizarre stories of how somebody got into raw food. I'll tell you another one. This woman came to a retreat once, and she actually got hit by lightning. She got hit by lightning, and then everything changed. Sometimes that's what it takes. Anyway, it doesn't need to take that for you. At any rate, you see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying here? In a world where all information is available, and maybe our television had programmed us with things that maybe were other than true, it's a good idea just to let the walls down a little bit, just to hear the information, whether you buy into it or not. Hey, that's no big deal, and just say, hey, that idea worked for me, or these 2 or 3 ideas worked for me, and you know there might be 15 songs on this CD tonight, and you know on a good CD there's only like 3 or 4 good ones anyway. And you can hit fast forward at any time. Is that okay? You can hit fast forward. Or you could listen to all 15 songs if you want. It's okay too. But you know, walk out of here. You don't have to be walking out here going, okay, at exactly noon tomorrow I'm going to have 3.141592653589798 8 milligrams of calcium. And then exactly 12:01 p.m. I'm going to have 3.141592653589789 milligrams of magnesium. You don't have to do that. The point is just being able to hear the ideas, to get the sense of the ideas, and then just flow with it. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, that's great too. At least you were able to hear something different. Just like a good movie. You know, sometimes good movies are good, and sometimes it's like, well, okay, fast forward. I'm coming to that. Because I have to set this up a little bit more. But see, this is how I keep people interested. It's like this is how they keep people hanging through a commercial. I do a lot of lectures. And it's really, I learned this from Mark Victor Hansen, who wrote the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. He has a remarkable ability to go off on a tangent and then come back to the point. And I do the same thing. And it's a lot of fun. And people are going, whoa, he can't actually remember what he was talking about. At any rate, so the point of all of that is that we have actually figured out what causes all disease. We have figured that out. That is known. And we have figured out how to reverse all disease. So here it is. All disease is caused by a lack of oxygen. All disease is caused by a lack of oxygen. And all disease, listen to this, and just really take a good listen to this. All disease is cured by an abundance of oxygen. And it's just literally that simple. Now, when I start out, like, hey, how are we going to do, what's step one? You know, I know somebody's going to wake up tomorrow morning and go, what did that guy say? What do we do now? Let's just have a cheeseburger, I mean, or just have an omelet or something. What do you do? What's the first step? Well, the first step, and thought out this way for a reason, is the best thing to do to start out as a discipline is to start doing fresh vegetable juice. Everybody always asks me, what's the best juicer? In fact, the guy did an interview with the guy from the Chicago Tribune today, and he asked me, what do you think's the best juicer? The one that's in your cupboard that you don't use. That's the best juicer. So get that thing out and get all those vegetables that are rotting in the bottom drawer and just start putting it through that machine. And that's the way to start. So you start out with a little bit of a vegetable juice, right? What is it? What kind of vegetable juice? Well, we heard the whole carrot juice cure. How many people have heard about the carrot juice cure before? And what does a carrot juice cure end up doing? It works for a while, right? You know, because I mean, it's certainly better than Dr. Pepper. However, eventually it starts this whole thing going. Like, you know, 64 ounces of carrot juice, and you're just like, woo! And then it's crashing and back and forth and just, whoa! And then, you know, the whole ups and downs. So we figured out, you know, from the Norman Walker days, it's like, hey, we've learned something. There's too much sugar in that. So it's probably better to have something that has lower sugar. Well, over the years, what I kind of have recommended is always to switch, when you're looking at a recipe book on juices, switch the carrot for a stick of celery or a rib of celery. So celery is very soft. It's very hydrating. It is very easy to do, meaning it's just juices beautifully. It's, you know, I mean, in a good Green Star juicer, Green Power juicer, you just go like this. You just like literally, like you put it on there and you just let go, and it juices itself. You don't even have to do anything. Isn't that good? I mean, it's getting that easy. It's just that much. Can everyone do that? I know, but the real thing is cleaning the machine afterward. I mean, I know that. So if you have kids, you know, it might be a good idea to just get the kids in there and like, it's fun cleaning this thing. If you're clever enough to make that happen. Anyway, how many people here have never had a vegetable juice before, fresh? Can't know anything except our own experience. So we can't really know what that is about until we actually drink that and go, whoa, okay, this is something. So we start out maybe with celery apple. By the way, I'm good friends with a juice man. Does a juice man drink carrot juice? No! Come on, that's a sales pitch. What does he actually drink? Celery apple juice. Yeah. So I go over to his house, and, well, one thing is funny is he doesn't even use his own juicer. Hilarious. He has his juicer from Japan. But he can, I'll get that. That was a cool sounding cell phone. I hadn't heard that before. Shaker has a cell phone. It has a Sanford and Son theme on it. so it's like, I keep hearing that theme. I'm just going, oh, God. Well, one thing we know about the juice is if we can get more on the green side of things, the chlorophyll, we're better off. So the more chlorophyll, the better. Chlorophyll is kind of nature's big neutralizer. Think about it. Like, if we look at the rainbow, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Do you ever notice that green is in the middle of the rainbow? You ever seen someone off balance, off center? Green straightens that right out. It brings someone right back to their center. Because when we go into a city, I mean, what's the color that disappears? Green. Green's the color that disappears in the middle of a city. So the green is a frequency that we're lacking, I would say. And if we think about it, like if you study Ayurvedic healing or even the yogas, the different yogic techniques, think about the chakras. Red, orange, yellow,